John chapter 14. Let not your heart be troubled. Ye believe in God, believe also in me. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you.
Wealth and this magnificent view. Couldn't agree more. May our kingdoms prosper as beautifully as the stars.
And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there ye may be also. Isaiah 62. For Zion's sake, will I not hold my peace? And for Jerusalem's sake, I will not rest until the righteousness thereof go forth as brightness, and the salvation thereof as a lamp that burneth. And the Gentiles shall see thy righteousness, and all kings thy glory. And thou shalt be called by a new name, which the mouth of the Lord shall name. Thou shalt also be a crown of glory in the hand of the Lord, and a royal diadem in the hand of thy God. Thou shalt no more be termed forsaken, neither shall thy land any more be termed desolate. But thou shalt be called Hephzibah, and thy land Beulah. But the Lord delighteth in thee, and thy land shall be married. For as the young man marrieth a virgin, so shall thy sons marry thee. And as the bridegroom rejoiceth over the bride, so shall thy God rejoice over thee.
This is my Father's kingdom, a kingdom of righteousness, power, and glory.
Praise the Lord, for he is greatly to be feared. He removed the wicked and put us righteous in power.
I have set watchmen upon thy walls, O Jerusalem, which shall never hold their peace day nor night. Ye that make mention of the Lord, keep not silence, and give him no rest till he establish until he make Jerusalem a praise in the earth. The Lord hath sworn by his right hand, and by the arm of his strength, surely I will no more give thy corn to be meat for thine enemies, and the sons of the stranger shall not drink thy wine, for the which thou hast labored. But they that have gathered it shall eat it, and praise the Lord. And they that have brought it together shall drink it in the courts of my holiness.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Kakadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers. And peace and blessings, salutations to the hopeful lake out there pushing the word and truth and in sincerity across the four winds. In the name of Yahweh Bahashem Al Shai, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful lake, the believers, the listeners, whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bahashem Al Shai. All right, and what I want to get into today, dealing with, the sea hip, is becoming, common knowledge. All right. And it's due, to the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Al Shai, which he has put upon his prophets, to teach, to expose, okay, to be on our watch. All right. Start with our apostles and elders and even their elders. Okay. So the things that were mysteries in the scriptures are now becoming common knowledge in the world. All right. And let's get some precepts, to go into these things. And I got, a few videos to play, and Lord will, you brothers, all right, and you sisters are edified. Now, when you go into the book, all right, Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 14, it said, for the earth shall be filled with the knowledge of the glory of the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Al Shai, as the waters cover the sea. you know. So the earth, all right, is beginning to be filled with the knowledge of the Lord, or the glory of Yahweh Bashem Al Shai. You see, and the Lord has, you know, endowed his prophets with the understanding of the scriptures to proclaim the glory, okay, of Yahweh Bashem Al Shai in the earth, okay. And whether you believe or not, there's certain things that are becoming common knowledge, you know, okay. You're not, you have people, you know, as this message is going out, you know, people are watching, certain people with platforms are watching the prophets and taking talking points and running with them. Okay, so there's certain talking points that's becoming, you know, common knowledge. Okay, who are the Edomites? Who are the real Israelites? These things are becoming common now. Okay, and what this devil is up to, these things are becoming common knowledge in the earth. You know, everyone is talking about Revelation 13 and 16 now, and what these devils are trying to do. You know, they're linking, you know, this AI infrastructure with, you know, a device. Okay, the digital ID is all being linked up. Okay, and the scriptures say the devil, you know, he cannot hide himself. Okay, and this word is flooding the earth, man. All right, true understanding is flooding the earth, man. Even if it's just bits and parts, and people don't fully know what's going on. All right, that this word, okay, is pouring over in the earth. Okay, and it's having a major effect, and that's why the devil is moving like he's moving. That's why you go here, Deuteronomy 32 and 1. It says, "Give ear, O ye heavens, and I will speak, and hear, O earth, the words of my mouth." Okay, so what we see happening now, you know, as we speak into these devices, they go into the satellites, okay, and then they come down, you know, like it's rain. Why you go to verse 2? My doctrine shall drop as rain, my speech shall distill as dew, because when you wake up, dew is covering everything, you know. So no matter how much they try to suppress, you know, play with the numbers and, you know, delete comments and whatever they on, all right, they can't stop this word, okay, from showering the earth. Okay, and part of this word, see, the Esau, he knows that this word exposes him like nothing else. You know, you can have, you know, these people that, you know, were insiders, and, you know, they flip on the devil and they expose particular things. Okay, but nothing exposes this man, all right, like this word. This is the most potent form, okay, the most potent source, okay, that's exposing the devil, man. Okay, is this word. It said, my speech shall distill as the dew, as a small rain upon the tender herb, as the showers upon the grass, because it says, because I will publish the name of the Lord Yahweh by Shema Shai, ascribe you greatness into our power, you know, and we're proclaiming that he is. You know, Esau was boasting, you know, in his technology. We're telling him that, look, your power that you have comes from our power. All right, and the power that Yahweh Shai is going to show is going to dwarf anything Esau has been able to conjure up within his rulership. Okay, and we're telling him that he's no true power. All right, he's an imposter. You know, he's playing like he's a chosen people, and now he's trying to play like he's the Most High. He's an imposter, man. Okay, and it's the true prophets, you know, that are really pushing their spirit, okay, in the earth. Now you go here to Jeremiah 49. All right, yeah, let's go here, Jeremiah 49. All right, and 10. It says, "But I have made Esau bare." You see, I have uncovered his secret places. You see, and now this devil, he's been laid bare. What he's been doing, what he's about, you know, the enchantments, and you see, the sorceries, and what this devil is really on, who really runs this world, and, you know, everything about this devil, what he's been doing, and plans to do, is being uncovered. He's been made bare. Okay, he doesn't have many secrets these days. Okay, it said, "I have uncovered his secrets, and he shall not be able to hide himself," man. You know, so this devil can't hide what he's getting ready to bring to the earth, man. Okay, the prophets, you know, have sounded the alarm. Okay, it says his seed is spoiled, and his brethren, his neighbors, and he is not, because this devil is getting ready to lose this war. Okay, and I'm speaking about, of course, America is going to lose this third world war, but you Edomites in general are going to lose this war to Yahushua and you heathens. Okay, but sticking with you devils, as this prophecy is speaking about you devils, okay, you're going to be spoils of war, just as we were spoils of war. Okay, and taking captives, where you're finna be spoils of war. Okay, so he will be exposed first, made bare. All right, and it will lead up to the devil trying to rush and establish his NWO, which will only bring him to what? The king of terrors, as it says in Job 18. Okay, which he's going to lose that war. All right, and the remnant of these devils are going to go into captivity, man. They're going to be spoiled of war. Okay, so let's go from there. So I got this video. This is from the beloved Elder Brother Shaquat from down here in GMS, Mississippi camp. Okay, so when you go, so this is the guy, who was one of the project leaders, project engineers dealing with, the RFID. All right, micro C-hip, which we know is the mark of the beast, the MOTB, no doubt, the Charagma. Okay, that this devil wants to put inside of everyone. All right, and the Lord has been putting this technology in the mind of this devil, like Elder Apostle Tahar said, it's the mark, it's the Most High's MOTB. All right, he put it in the minds of these devils. Okay, to come up with this. Okay, for the sake of prophecy, man. Okay, so there can be an hour of temptation. So let's play this.
He was project leader or the senior project engineer. We began to work on the design of a microchip that, when it was completed, was 0.75 millimeters in diameter, 7 millimeters long. It was the size of 1/4 of a grain of rice. Again, I want to say that I was not a Christian and there were no Christians there. They said they wanted this to have a power source and be able to emit a signal. And they told us they wanted us to use lithium as a battery source. Lithium's used in watch batteries. It's used in heart pacemaker batteries. It's used in a lot of places. I designed into this microchip a little charging circuit that would charge that battery. This sounds like a lot of technical things coming together, but if you'll bear with me 1 minute, you'll see what God has laid out about this microchip. When we discovered that we needed to be able to charge that battery, I needed a temperature change, a change in temperature to cause current to flow through that little charging circuit that would charge the battery. So we began to investigate and find out where in the body does the temperature change the most rapidly. We spent over $1 million in taxpayer money, and when the results came back, there was a lot of information. We divided it up amongst 3 teams and then came back together with that information. It was determined that there were 2 places in the body that were ideal for the microchip. One was just below the hairline on the forehead. Every mother checks their child's temperature right here. So we could have paid the mothers $1 million and saved. I never saw a mother check their child's temperature on their ankle. Always right here. The other place was the hand, the right hand preferred, because most people are right-handed. This didn't bother me, and it didn't bother anybody else on the team. The hand seemed a good place. Nobody wanted it here. And so the design work, everything was completed. The microchip was done. You're seeing it now on some of the Discovery Channel presentations. There are people who have received it already. It is real. It's not something that's coming way down the road. They gave me a Bible. They told me not to read the book of Revelation. They said the book of Revelation is too hard to understand.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump forward in this. All right, but as you can see, the Lord, been guiding the devil, with this technology of the MOTB for the sake of prophecy, man. And that's in the book of Job. Let me get that real quick. The book of Job. Okay. So that was one of the project leaders and engineers, but he turned Christian, so he did a tell-off, about that micro C-hip. You see, and the Lord just has, this devil been exposed in so many, different ways. And that's from several years ago. All right. But we're going to fast forward it to now. What we're seeing happening, okay, is prophecy is becoming the main talking points of all different, arenas. Okay. Job 33:16 said, then he opened the ears of men and sealeth their instruction. Okay, well, in fact, let me jump at start at 15. It says, I started 14. For the Most High speaketh once, yeah, twice, yet men perceive it not. In a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep fall upon men and slumberings upon the bed, then he opened the ears of men and sealeth their instruction. All right, so every night, there's instructions given to men, and it's all the will of the Lord. Whether it's on the left hand or the right hand, all right, everyone's given instructions to fulfill, okay, for the next day. That's why whenever we plan things, you gotta say, Lord will, and if we plan something and the Lord allows it to happen, well, that was his will. All right, that was part of his instructions. Okay. But daily, the Lord is giving, instructions to man. All right. So everything, the way that this MOTB was created, how they found, the part of the body that the temperature changes the most, being in your hand. Okay, that little portion in your hand between your thumb and your pointing finger. Okay. And your forehead. All right. The fact that that's the only place, that can keep that C-hip charged. Okay. Was for the sake of prophecy, because John wrote this Revelation 2,000 years, close to, almost 2,000 years ago. Okay. Before they started to engineer on the actual device. So showing you that it was the will of Yahweh B'Shem Al-Shai, that the Lord, as the scriptures say, he gives men what? Their instruction. He sealeth men with their instructions. Okay. The missiles, certain men, the Lord gave the knowledge and wisdom. He opened them up to, what they call nuclear physics. Okay. For the sake of prophecy, man. Okay. Giving Esau, what they call the Wright brothers, they came up with, they engineered the first plane. Okay. Well, that was for the sake of prophecy, man, for the war in heaven. So everything that we see happening, okay, is because the Lord is sealing the instructions of men. Okay. And it says that he may withdraw, all right, man from his purpose, all right, and hide pride from men. All right. Because everyone is moving to the tune of prophecy, man. Even when you think you're doing something for your behalf, well, you're doing it for the sake of prophecy. When you think it's all you, okay, no, it's all the Lord, all right, for his purpose. Okay. So I'm gonna jump ahead some more in the video. Okay, just to show. Jump to about the in this video, he got Elder Apostle Hart, he breaking it down in the street, where I can respond to that segment of the video as well, but that's heavy too. But so I'm going here. Let's go here. And you got people that's looking forward to this technology as well. All right. But let's go here.
People who might think this is insane. What do you say to those people who might think this is insane?
Just come hang out with us for a bit. I bet you any money by the end of the weekend you're going to leave with a microchip. My name is Anastasia Sin. I'm a magician and a biohacker.
You can even hear my hand because my hand has like 8 magnets in it. So my whole hand is now a speaker.
Blues.
This goes to my website. This is a LED light.
There's like a TED Talk how we're all cyborgs.
You are all actually cyborgs. Suddenly we're a new form of Homo sapiens.
It really resonated with me. My house, my car, my clothes are my exoskeleton. Without them, I'm not exactly me. So adding more technology didn't really seem that weird.
It's literally a chunk of silicon with a battery and a circuit board.
If you are someone who hacks your skin with an electronic, we call them a grinder. Let's see what we got in the Dangerous Things kit of how to become a cyborg. All right, let's see what it says, shall we?
Hey, ABC News. Let me show you what a body can do.
Why did you get that first implant?
Because my daughter wanted one. I said, listen, I'm not sure how safe this is for people, so how about I go and I get one, and if it's safe, like after a year and I don't have any health problems, I won't have a problem with you getting one. I'll even buy it for you. Like, and she to this day doesn't have one, and I have 52. Yeah.
52, that sounds like an addiction.
A little bit.
At some points, 100 years in the future, everything will be an implant.
When you guys come together every year, what is the big wish list item that you all hope to one day make?
The thing everyone wants is Neuralink. It's frustrating because it's out there, but we don't know how it's built. So if Elon was willing to open source all of his stuff like we do, that'd be great. It works on the premise that your brain's electrical signals can interface with a computer's electrical signals. That is the dream. That is the Johnny Mnemonic, everyone's favorite movie in biohacking.
Up begins when you press here.
Or uploading information like in the Matrix.
I know Kung Fu.
They coming up with a new prison that allows inmates.
So you got already what they call a biohacking, community. And this is what the devil, Noah Yuval Harari, this is what this devil was on, saying now humans are hackable, okay, with technology. They're able to hack humans and integrate them, okay, with his technology. Okay, this is what this devil is on, and it's a growing thing. So you have people that are already primed up, for the MOTB system. Because she said, they desire, everybody is in the biohacking, community is waiting on, all right, the Neuralink, they're waiting on it. So I asked, is biohacking trending? And it said, yes, the trend around biohacking appears to be growing strongly. Here's an overview and how and why it's trending. Okay, it says market reports forecast rapid growth and estimates that global market will grow from about 24.8 billion in 2024 to 69.1 billion by 2030. Another projects, all right, the market will reach 85.8 billion by 2032. Okay, so there's a lot of money that's been poured into this, okay, and people, okay, are driven to this technology, this bio tracking, because it went from wearable technology, okay, and it's going to go in you, okay. We're at the phase of, where it's wearable. First, it was in your pocket, okay. Now it is, it's wearable, and the next phase is in you, which is the MOTB. And there's already, a community of people, all right, that are waiting, for transhumanism. Okay, especially Esau Edom. See, Esau Edom is just a weirdo. They into that. You know, the madness, man. It says wearable technology and biosensing are becoming mainstream, tracking sleep stages, HRV, glucose, interest in longevity, cognitive performance, preventive health rather than just reactive care. More accessible tools, all right, for self quantification of health data, apps, all right, at home tests. Cultural shift. It says health and optimization are becoming largely lifestyle focused, not just niche tech hobbies. All right, media commentary on how health is becoming, all right, a status symbol. And here it is. All right, this is the society, all right, that destroys, okay, your health more than anything. But then they present this technology, all right, for your health. Okay, when especially here in America, this is the most poisoned society in the world. Okay, but then they present this technology under the banner of health. Okay, and showing you that true wisdom. All right, this devil doesn't have true wisdom. All right, because true health comes from the earth. You know, the earth was already set up from the beginning. All right, in a healthy fashion. You know, understanding the wisdom of the earth is health. Okay, not a goddamn device. All right, 52 magnets in your ass. Okay, all this goddamn technology in your ass, and that's, you know, health. No, man, because the body isn't made, all right, to be fused with that technology. It's unnatural, man. Okay, but this what the devil is on. But these things are becoming mainstream. All right, so you have a community of these devils, okay, that are part of this hacking, you know, the biohacking community. Okay. Yep. So let's go here. I'm gonna let it play some more, and then the brother put this up. Let's see. All right, it's the brother Bayon Yashala 144 says subdermal means just below the skin. The term is most often used to describe a subdermal implant, which, all right, which is a device or object placed under the skin for medical purposes like contraception, all right, or body modification. Okay, and we know that C-hip is going to be subdermal, you know, technology just below the skin. Okay, in your hand, okay, or your forehead. So let's play some more, all right, because you got this. The devil got a lot going on, man. So there's something else he got going on.
Takes to serve years of their sentence in just a matter of
I know Kung Fu.
They coming up with a new prison that allows inmates to serve years of their sentence in just a matter of minutes. So the criminals is going to have a choice to spend tens of years behind bars, or they can make the choice to get the artificial memory implanted into their brain. So this process is called Cognify. And the intent of it is to treat the criminal like a patient.
There's a new system out there. They're talking about the prison of the future, folks. It's a company called Cognify. Take a look at this video, right? Because you've never seen anything like this. It's a new concept that it rehabilitates artificial memories. But the thing is, I think your actual prison sentence is really short, but they kind of erase your brain. You down with that one?
They're going to try to change the person's brain chemistry. After this process, when they re-enter society, they will be new and reformed, and they won't even be capable of committing any other crime. The chip can make the patient feel empathetic. Depending on the severity of the crime, the chip can also make you feel the emotional and physical pain of the victim and the family members. You can feel what they felt. So the process only takes about 7 minutes. But to the patient, it seemed like it had been years. Last year, the U.S. government spent $8.7 billion taxpayers' dollars on the prison. They say with this new prison, they can save money.
Here's the part that they don't tell you. If you do not comply.
So you got this thing called Cognify, you know, where he supposedly can make, you know, the inmates feel the pain and suffering that the family felt, you know, which this devil, he be experimenting, man. You know, Esau can do some shit, but then a lot of times he be capping. That nigga be lying. That nigga be experimenting on your ass, man. Okay? So now, you know, with Cognify, they can, you know, make you feel, you know, the pain and suffering of, you know, the family, you know, that you committed the crime against. Okay? So in 7 minutes, they can make it feel like a long time. And this devil, this is him boasting in his technology like he's the most high, man. You know, like he exists outside of time, like he can control time now. Okay? So now, all right, instead of, you know, Jake, you know, going to get 20, 30 years. And see, this is going to be a sale pitch for him to experiment on inmates. Okay? This is a sale pitch for him to experiment on inmates, man. And see, because Esau, he thinks he's going to figure out immortality on the left-hand side. And he's going to use people to experiment on, okay? Promise to give them, you know, promise that it's going to benefit them in some type of way. Okay? But it's just his way to experiment on people, you know, because he wants to tap into immortality, man. Okay? So now instead of Jake getting 20, 30 years, you know, they get 7 minutes and, you know, then they're rehabilitated and then they come back, you know, oh, you a Muslim now, you know, nigga come back a changed man. You see, so now Keisha ain't got to worry about, you know, Glocktavius going away for 20, 30 years. That nigga be right back, like going to the store. You know, that nigga be right back, you know, change. You know, it's crazy, man. What is this nigga doing? But it reminded me of this movie I seen. It's called MK Ultra. I don't know if brother's seen that movie, but it's called MK Ultra. And it's informative. It's not the best acting and, you know, storyline, but it's informative of what these devils, you know, were doing, what the CIA was doing with LSD. Okay, so it says if you meant LSD, because I asked about the LSD, it says if you meant LSD, then yes, there is historical evidence that the U.S. government conducted unethical LSD experiments involving prisoners, okay, among others during the mid 20th century. Here's a summary of what happened. MK Ultra and related programs said time period roughly from 1953 to 1973. Agency involved, the CIA, under a covert research, all right, effort known as Project MK Ultra. The goal to study mind control, all right, and what they're talking about with Cognify. This is going to change your brain chemistry to where you're going to come out as this upstanding, empathetic nigga. Okay, the nigga Esau's experiment, he don't be on what half this shit gonna do. Okay, but he needs someone to experiment on. Okay, and what more than prison niggas, man? Okay, it said to study mind control, integration, okay, and behavior modification, including the effects of psychedelic drugs such as LSD. Okay, so this devil is known for experiment, okay, on Jake, man. Okay, when he's speaking about prisoners, this is Jake, because you look in the movie, it was mostly Jake that he was experimenting on. The movie is called MK Ultra. I think it's on Netflix, Prime or Netflix, I can't remember. Okay, it says prisons use experiments. It says experiments occurred in several U.S. prisons, including Lexington, Narcotics Farm, Kentucky, and others. Prisoners were often given LSD without proper consent, all right, or, okay, it says, or full understanding, okay, of the risk. Some programs were run in collaboration with researchers or military personnel, sometimes under the guise of medical research and rehabilitation. The prisoners, as well as psychiatrists, all right, psychiatric patients, soldiers, and others, were often misled or coerced. Many experiments violated ethical and legal norms for human research. When MK Ultra was exposed in the 1990s through the Church Committee hearing of the FOIA, investigation, the U.S. government officially ended the program and condemned, its practices, man. So, these double, you're going to see a lot of experiments being rolled out, and he's going to package it as if, just this great thing, and he just, came up with this for the embetterment of society and, human compassion. But this nigga just finna experiment on people, man. All right, the earth is a laboratory to this nigga, man. All right, he's a big child. Okay, so that's happening. All right, now let's go here, play some more just to show you that, because I think this is on Drink Champs. Okay, yeah, this is on Drink Champs, and they're talking about the MOTB. Okay, everyone is this is okay. This is the topic, man. Okay, these are the talking points now.
Comply with the government, and you do not do what the government says, all they got to do is simply turn that chip off. And now your credit card don't work, and now you can't even go to Carl's Jr. and get a cheeseburger. Now you can't even go get tacos or eat. And now, in order for that chip to be turned back on / activated, you got to be under control and the mercy of the government and what they tell you to do to be able to even shop for food or whatever else is that you want to get. And so all that is leading towards that, man. So I tell people you're soon enough going to be backed up into having to make the decision of accept or don't accept. But when it comes down to it, and people always, and that's how they control you. And people always say, oh, they got you control on your phone. No, they don't. Because I could take this phone, I could throw it in a river, and you no longer got anything on me physically. But once they put that in you physically, now you're under control, because that's your credit card, that's your currency, that's your money, that's your whole damn life right there. Right. And again, a lot of this is exposed. You guys can watch the documentary with your own eyes. And to go one step farther, respectfully, it's all in the Bible. Right. It's all in Revelations. It's right there in black print. Right. So all I'm saying is, but if you want to see some current, watch America Fascism and Freedom, you'll get a wake-up call right there, and it shows you how and why this is happening, because this is all leading up to the one world government, the one world currency.
Okay, in the Bible, it tell you about the number 666.
Yeah.
Okay, it say let one who got the will.
Now, don't what he's finna go into, the numerology prospect, perspective, which is so much, numerology that you can link to the 666. Okay, but we understand, all right, this is, the number of this man. This will be his banner. Okay, he will usher in, this MOTB system, and this number is embedded, in all logos. Is constantly, this is how, these celebrities pay homage, through their number, okay, or their one eye, okay. But so he's gonna go into, some things with the numbers, but disregard the numbers, but the conclusion that he's gonna come to, okay. And these are just, jakes that, okay, they're not in the truth. They're just, you see, this is just a topic now. This is becoming barbershop talk now, the MOTB. Okay. So let's play this.
And not calculate this number. The key word is calculate. And you will know the meaning of that shit. So look, I'm gonna tell y'all listening at home, y'all write this, y'all try this. Boom. Write down the alphabets. Get a sheet of paper. Write down the alphabets. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, like going down on each line. Write the alphabet. And on for each letter, it'll be a number, a multiplication of 6. So A will be 6, B will be 12, C will be 18, D will be 24, E will be 30, and so on, so on, so on, so on. So boom, once you got your alphabet, you got the numbers down. Now write the word computer. COMPUTER. Boom. You find the letter. You find the letter for C, which will be 18. Right. You find the letter for O, whatever that number is. You find a letter for M, whatever that number is. But you add every number from computer, and that bitch gonna be 666.
It is the mark of the
Come on now.
It is the mark of the beast.
Come on now.
But then again,
come on now, computer. And remember how they are, like how they trying to advance technology to where like that chip in your arm, where if you ain't got the chip in your arm, you can't buy no food, right. You can't clock in or work. Yeah. And remember in the Bible, that's what it say. If you ain't got this mark, you ain't gonna be able to buy no food, no woo.
Says so, disregard the numerology, but the conclusion of the matter, he understands that Revelation 13, 16, and 17 is speaking about, okay, this technology. See, now you can't separate this technology from Revelation 13 and 16. If someone is still telling you that it's an embargo, it's sin, it's sleeping with a white woman, or whatever niggas is saying nowadays, man, whatever Jake is on nowadays, okay, then man, you can't separate the two. Okay, you cannot separate what this man is doing real time from Revelation 13 and 16 and 17. The infrastructure is being rolled out, okay, as we speak. Okay, and nothing else makes sense outside of that, man. Okay. You read Revelation 13 and 16, it says he calls it all, both small and great, rich and bond, free, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark, their charagma, in their hand, in their right hand, or in their foreheads, and then no man shall buy or sell, save he that had the mark. Okay, save he that had the mark. Okay. So this is what this devil, okay, is on, man. Okay, he wants to herd everyone into this system of complete control, this digital system that's complete control. Okay, and he wants to control your thoughts, not only just your transactions, but your thoughts. This is what this devil is on. Okay, and everybody, right, is peeping to play. You see? Let's play this.
What if you could pay for your shopping with just a wave of your hand? This RFID chip works just like a contactless card. It's implanted into your hand, and once it's there, you can pay for groceries, open doors, and even unlock your car.
All right. So yeah, this is where it's at. The Lord got this man, okay, bare. He's all the way out there. All right. So yeah, let's get a few more precepts. Okay. When you go into the book of let's go into the book of Mark. Chapter 4, verse 22. Okay. In the book of Mark, chapter 4, verse 22. And it reads, for there is nothing hid which shall not be manifested. Neither was anything kept secret, but that it shall come abroad. All right. So there's nothing hid. All right. Which shall not be manifested, man. Okay. And the Lord has manifested the devil and what he's up to, man. Now it's mainstream now. Okay, now, the average person is breaking down Revelation 13 and 16. All right, because of how vital that is, man. Because if you take that, ain't no repenting, ain't no coming back from that. You out of there. Okay? And if any man have ears, let him hear. Okay? You see? So it's meant for, the elect, to hear these things. And there's going to be a lot of people that's going to come in, the scripture say that last hour, as things unfold, as they see the Bible begin to speak more, it's going to be people that's going to come in. Okay. And like I say, the punishment for that, see, once you take the MOTB, that's irreversible. All right. And that's the ultimate betrayal of an Israelite. As an Israelite, that's the ultimate betrayal, is you taking the MOTB. Okay. So let's go here, Revelation 14:9. It says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and shall be tormented in fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and the presence of the Lamb. Okay, so if you are worshiping, this beast, and this is why the beast is constantly explained. What is the beast? Okay, which is the revived Greco-Roman Empire, the culture, all right, the philosophies, the doctrines, you see, that's been revived, all right, in this modern time. Okay, and if you love this way of existing, okay, under the new Greco-Roman Empire, you're worshiping the beast. Okay, and if you worship the beast, if you love your life in this system, that's why I say they that love their life shall lose it. Okay, they that try to save their life shall lose it. Okay, and how is Esau going to present a way to save your life in the midst of this chaos that's to come? The sea hip. Okay, so if you love, all right, your life, and you try to save it through this sea hip and receive this mark, this charagma, okay, you're gonna drink the wine of the wrath of the Most High. You just, partook, okay, in the ultimate betrayal as an Israelite. You betrayed your power. You betrayed your king that's coming back to deliver. Okay, you're telling the Most High you don't want Yahushua to come back. You want to stay, all right, a slave in this kingdom. Okay, that's what you're saying as an Israelite when you take that sea hip. Okay, and that's why you're going to get that wrath of the Most High that's going to be poured out without mixture. You're going to get the nukes, and you're going to get the fire from the chariots, and you're going to feel it all. And see, the Lord, he can make a short time feel like a long time. All right, that cognified bullshit Esau talking about. Okay, the Lord can make a short time feel like a long time. Okay, that's who can do that. All right, so yeah, we this is where we at, man. You see, the preaching of this word, it has been has set the tone. Because just as John the Baptist, he was preparing the way for Yahushua. Okay, so his prophecy is going forth. The way of Yahushua is prepared. You see, so Lord will, you brothers, all right, and you sisters edified once again. I want to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Ruka Kodash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to his younger brothers. And peace and blessings, salutations to the hopeful elect. Shalom.